It happened Sunday afternoon at the auction site. According to police documents, concrete blocks are now in the place of where the fence likely once stood. Police say a forklift removed a van that was in front of the gate. Then someone driving a pickup truck rammed the fence just before 3 p.m. on Sunday. We walked into United Auto Exchange to ask staffers what had happened, but they asked that we call their corporate number. Neighbors wondered how this could ever happen.
What? 21 cars? What? They could have gave me a car. 21 cars? What they gonna do? How they gonna drive 21 cars?
At once!
Right, that's crazy. They ought to be ashamed of themselves. I've been telling these folks, man, you need to get your life together. 21 cars? Where you gonna park all them cars at?
All right, guys, so we got to talk about a feel-good story coming out of a small town. To be more exact, Tipton County, where a sheriff is warning thieves about coming into his county and trying what they try in these big liberal cities. Now, if you guys don't know where Tipton County is north of Memphis, okay? And Memphis is one of the most dangerous places on earth, okay? That's not an exaggeration. You can look it up. Memphis, Tennessee is a dangerous place to be. There are some places in Mexico, in Central and South America, I'd rather be than in Memphis, Tennessee, okay? It is an extremely dangerous place. And in response to increases in crimes, thefts, robberies, murders, the people there, okay, population happens to be mostly black, by the way, decided to get softer on crime by ousting a GOP DA and replacing the DA with a woke revolutionary criminal justice reformer. And we all know what that means. It means a guy that is soft on crime. That's what they did in response to the city being out of control when it comes to crime. Take a look.
It is a new day in Shelby County tonight. Major change is coming to the criminal justice system.
Yeah, the way in which bail is determined in Shelby County Criminal Court is being transformed. Action News 5's Joyce Peterson live in studio with the details. Joyce.
Yeah, Joe and Joy, supporters of this bail reform say the old system was totally unfair to the black community and to poor people. But critics of the new system say that it runs the risk of putting violent criminals back on the street.
Well, it's good for Shelby County.
On the second floor of the Criminal Justice Complex in downtown Memphis, a new courtroom has been created to handle Shelby County's new bail program.
We think what's happening here is an opportunity for Shelby County to be on the cutting edge, if you will, of the bail hearing process.
Defendants will now receive a bail hearing within 72 hours of arrest. And for the first time ever, their financial status will help determine their bail.
Your ability to stay free for months or years while you are waiting for your day in court shouldn't depend on how much money you have in your pocket.
In 2021, local advocacy group Just City and the ACLU sent this letter threatening to sue Shelby County. The old bail system, they said, violated the U.S. Constitution and Tennessee law. Just City's executive director told us in September the new system would be fair to defendants and help reduce the population at the aging, understaffed county jail.
The courts and the county have agreed to a new process for determining bail. So hopefully in the next 6 to 18 months, that will mean the jail population goes down. If we do it right, it absolutely should.
14 judicial commissioners appointed by the Shelby County Commission will set bail using a nationally recognized formula, one that's designed to flag defendants who are considered a flight risk or a danger to the community. But after several recent cases where murder and aggravated assault defendants got out on low bonds, State Rep John Gillespie of Memphis recently sponsored legislation that would require elected judges to set bail for those accused of the most serious felony crimes.
You deserve to go to the grocery store and not look over your shoulder.
The first case in the new bail hearing room takes place this Friday.
It's always good to see when Shelby County raises up strong, and we think this process does that to make sure that everybody has a fair opportunity.
Okay, Shelby County Mayor Lee Harris supports bail reform, as does Shelby County Sheriff Floyd Bonner. His office telling me tonight we support any efforts to safely reduce the population of the jail, and we are fully committed to staffing this bail hearing courtroom. We have budgeted and planned for it, and we are working with our criminal justice partners to make it happen. I also reached out to the Memphis Police Department and the Memphis Police Union tonight to get their thoughts on bail reform. Didn't hear back from either.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Like I told you guys, just like all these cities, instead of getting tougher on crime in response to crime, they just get soft on crime and pretend that crime is going to go away, right? That's what they do, okay? And what has that led to in Memphis? Well, just like these other liberal cities like Washington, D.C., for example, you have residents there now begging for National Guard help because crime and violence is out of control. Take a look.
Some are calling for extreme measures to solve the violence problem.
That includes calling on the state's National Guard to walk the streets. And there's a direct appeal to Mayor Strickland.
Fox 13's Dakari Turner is live in downtown Memphis. Dakari?
Good evening to you both. On the heels of such a very violent weekend, there are calls tonight that something, of course, new be done. We spoke to Reverend Kenneth T. Whalum Jr. Let me show you before we get to that. This is a remnant of exactly what happened. This bullet hole here, about a foot tall, is what police have circled around it. As I said, there are new calls that something new be done. We spoke to Reverend Kenneth T. Whalum about his belief, asking both county and city mayors to make requests of the governor. He said the answer that has come back over and over, he says, is a resounding no. In posts on social media, Whalum asked directly to Memphis and Shelby County Mayors Strickland and Harris to request from Governor Lee that the National Guard be sent to Memphis to patrol our streets overnight until we get crime under control. Downtown shooting is not only an illustration he has, not only the one he has of why it's needed, using news broken by Fox 13 last week of gunfire at Cordova High.
Is this an emergency right now?
I think it has reached the level of public health emergency as well as public safety emergency. The gangs and the dope boys and those who would do us harm are more well armed than we are.
Yeah, so that being said, you have another Democrat-run city, liberal-run city, with woke criminal justice policies begging for National Guard help, okay? Begging for National Guard help to fight crime, to stop crime. Well, I'm going to tell you something. Again, that takes us to a small town, okay, a smaller county, Tipton County, in which the sheriff there is actually doing something about crime. He's doing exactly what the local officials should be doing when it comes to stopping crime, which is locking criminals up, right? And he is warning criminals and thieves about coming to this county and committing crimes, because apparently these thieves, these criminals, are coming from Memphis and they're going to this county to commit crimes, and he's not having any of it. He's telling them, the policies in Memphis don't apply here, right? If you come over here with that nonsense, you're going to jail and you're staying in jail. And this is exactly what we need to see in our country. We need to see a whole lot more of this.
Can't do the time, don't do the crime. Apparently the motto in Tipton County after criminals started crossing county lines. They're not catching and releasing, they are prosecuting. Hello, I'm Greg Hirsch. Stephanie is off tonight. WRG's Ashley Paul followed up on a recent break-in and spoke with Sheriff Shannon Beasley about how Tipton County is dealing with Memphis's crime problem.
It was just a matter of time. We knew it's been coming out of Memphis.
Judson Nafee watches this surveillance video as 5 thieves bust through the window at Whiskey Business on Highway 51 in Covington and steal thousands of dollars worth of liquor.
We've had 3 break-ins in Tipton County recently that look like Memphis-style break-ins, and of course, there's no consequences in Memphis for breaking in.
But Tipton County Sheriff Shannon Beasley says this is not Memphis, writing on Facebook, quote, "If you think we are going to let you run back to Memphis or anywhere else without any consequences, you've got us confused."
There's no shade at Memphis. It's all across the country, especially in our larger cities, where it seems that the criminals are not punished. They're treated like the victim instead of the criminal.
Sheriff Beasley says we see too many cases where criminals get away with a slap on the wrist in Memphis, and that crime is now seeping into Tipton County. But he promises Tipton County will not handle it the same way.
One thing's going to happen in Tipton County, if you come up here and you bring those stupid crimes to us, we promise you, you're going to pay bail and you're going to pay your time. And if you want to come up here and commit those crimes and you've got the time to sit in jail, I promise you I got the place to put you.
And that's exactly what happened. 3 of the men responsible for the burglary at Whiskey Business remain in the Tipton County Jail tonight with no bond. Nafee says if the store had to be burglarized, he's glad it happened in Tipton County.
We all know each other. We all want to have a nice, safe place to live. And if they're going to bring that stuff out of Memphis to here, our law enforcement officers and our DAs and our judges they're going to pay for it. They're going to pay for their crime here.
2 other men involved in the burglary are still on the run. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Covington Police Department. In Tipton County, I'm Ashley Paul, WREG News, Channel 3.
Yeah, so you see that, you heard that. Again, for people trying to figure out, oh, what do we do about crime? What are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to fix this problem? Well, it's very simple. This sheriff just told you. Lock them up. Throw away the key. Right? You come over here and you start committing these crimes in this small county or small town, whatever you want to call it, right? You're going to face consequences. You're going to sit in jail, right? You're going to sit in jail, okay? We don't need to be releasing criminals out of jail. We need to be throwing more criminals in jail, right? Maybe we should be building more jails. I'm just saying. Again, we've gotten too soft on this stuff. We really have. And you see the consequences. Crime all over the country. And it's seeping into smaller counties, smaller towns, a.k.a. red areas, right? They didn't sign up for this, right? They didn't vote for these policies. They didn't vote for this type of crime. And now they have to suffer for it because they're in the vicinity of these liberal cities that voted for this stuff. And the criminals are too dumb not to realize that, hey, if you go to this other county, you go to this small town with that nonsense, you're not going to get a slap on the wrist, right? And those 3 criminals, they effed around and found out. They went to a small town, trying to commit a crime, trying to thieve and rob, and now they're sitting in jail, as they should, rightfully so. We need to see more of this. We need more law enforcement officers that instead of coming out here talking about how, oh, man, we want to make the system more fair for black people and poor people. Nah, screw all that. We need to be talking about if you commit a crime, we'll lock you up. We're throwing away the key. We're not going to be soft to own you. We're going to prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. You're going to face punishment for your crimes. Okay, you're going to face consequences. Okay, we're not with this social justice, criminal justice reform nonsense. Right? The system needs to be reformed, all right? It needs to be reformed to make it harder on criminals, not softer. So, hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.